Sup peeps, long time no see. My name's Ian, I sell books on eBay. I've been away for a good few days, not away, just, life gets in the way. Been doing a wee bit of a remodel, still very much in the process, but it's meant things have been a wee bit chaotic around the whole book selling thing. I've got a whole load of storage racks nearly here, so I've not been able to process inventory as normal, which has meant everything's just stacked and piled high, waiting till I can start getting these things into place and getting stuff put away again. So it's just been a wee bit of madness. Other bits and bobs going on, I say, life always gets in the way, so I've not really had a chance to stand and talk about anything. It's just been, as soon as an order comes in, get it wrapped, packed, and out the way. But this morning, I've got a wee bit of a gap. I've got about 11 orders have come in yesterday evening, overnight, so can have a wee scan through them. There's a couple that are a bit interesting, some recentish pickups, some stuff that's been sitting for a long time but has finally sold. So yeah, let's just have a wee run through and see what we've got going out the door today. First up, I've seen this guy I don't know how many times, and sometimes I pick them up, sometimes I don't, and then they tend to sit in the death pile because I'm just, well, I'll wait until I've got a set, I'll wait until I've got something. And finally I got a good few of them together, went through them and decided just to sell them and whatnot. So there was like 10 books for a £5 or something they went for. I then picked up another couple and I actually looked at them properly this time, and some of them sell for quite good money on their own, so I thought, right, time to get a listing going. And one of them has sold, so it's JD Kirk, DCI Jack Logan. This is a compendium, books 4 to 6, and that sold on its own for £9.99. It's a bit of a beast of a book, but still, that's not bad for a single paperback, because I bought it as a single paperback to sell as a single paperback. Let's put it in the packing pile. So that one was a wee bit different. Then we've got some bread and butter. Ian Rankin, everybody's favourite author, called Ian Rankin. You know what I mean. 3 Ian Rankin paperbacks, £9.84. Followed by some more fairly common sellers. 2 Val McDermott's, £9.99. Scottish authors. This next order, I'm not going to show you all of it because it's too awkward to pick up, but I was in one of my shops and they just had a big donation, and in it was a stack of over 100 Commando comics. So I went through them, sorted them through them a wee bit, and there was 100 that ran sequentially within that lot, and then a few from beyond the number and a few from before, but I picked out 100 that run sequentially. They're all pretty good condition, lots of Commando comics, so 100 of them. Didn't really know what to do with them beyond that, so I just stuck them on an auction. I should point out, I got these for nothing. It was just a case of, look, just take them, because there's nothing they were going to do with them. They were literally going in the recycling. So they gave us them, stuck them up as an auction, 100 of them for 99p. And they sold for, they're now trying to fall over, that's why I didn't want to pick too many up. They're an awkward lot, so they are. Yeah, it's kind of balanced. And ended up selling for £30.99 plus postage, so 39 quid all in for that lot. So it's a wee bit of a weight to it. So that was quite a nice wee pick up. Again, it's the kind of thing that I see quite often, but usually they're a bit tatty and there's only 2 or 3 here or 3 or 4 there. But I might start just, if they're really cheap, I'll just grab them, stack them up and see what happens. I've been doing that with a couple of other titles, which I'll tell you about shortly, and it seems to be working reasonably well. So yeah, I was quite pleased that went. I was a wee bit fearful it would just sell for 99p. Well, it didn't cost me anything, so that wouldn't really have mattered. It was postage on top, so the postage was covered, and I made 20p from nothing if it had gone for like 99p, but it didn't. Sold for 39 quid, which is good. Next up we have Mr. Ozzy Osbourne. I Am Ozzy by Ozzy Osbourne. Nice hardcover book. I've had this sitting for I don't know how long, but £6.99. We'll take it. And then another author, which I don't sell very often at all. This is maybe the third time I've sold any of their books. Alexander McCall Smith, #1 Ladies Detective Agency author. But this isn't that one. We've got Blue Shoes and Happiness, Morality for Beautiful Girls, and Tea Time for the Traditionally Built. 3 Alexander McCall Smith, 2 paperbacks and 1 hardcover, £10.99. So, quite nice sales. Then we've got something else that's been sitting for a wee while. Barakamon. I don't know. So Pokemon is Pocket Monster. Is this American former president monster? I don't know what it's about. But we've got Volume 1 and Volume 2, and the 2 of them sold together for £16.99. So let's say I've had them for a wee while, and they've just sat. But I've not done anything with the prices because they're in very good condition, and they have sold for more than that in the past. So it seemed worth just biding my time, letting it happen. Next, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, only 6. 6 Julia Donaldson books, £15.79. I'll sit them there because they won't balance on top of that other lot. So, next, 10 Roald Dahl books. So this was a pre-made bundle. I've got dozens and dozens of Roald Dahl books. And sometimes they sell in wee flurries, and sometimes they sit for ages and nothing happens. And I find them frustrating to list because there's so many different editions and versions. You end up with like 12 listings for the BFG, and it's just a bit of a faff, to say the least. I find it very frustrating. So I picked up a bunch of nice clean books, stuck them together in a lot. 10 Roald Dahl paperbacks, £19.99. Took a couple of weeks to sell, so I will maybe have a wee look through the rest of my Roald Dahls and see if I can replicate that listing or put up something that's pretty close to it at least. A couple more orders to look at. We've got Brian Lumley's Necroscope, Vampirism, Necromancy, Supernatural Mayhem and Shrieking Bloody Terror. That's an old book. Well, this particular edition maybe isn't that old, but I remember reading this when I was like 16. This is from 93, so I would have had the original kind of 86, 87 version of that probably. But yeah, I'd remembered reading that from years and years and years ago. So saw it, picked it up, and it has sold for £8.11. So that was very nice as well. I think I paid £1.75, and it was either a friend or a girlfriend at the time. I don't know if she was just a friend or she was a girlfriend then, but her dad ran a bookstall in the local market. He was a bookseller, and I bought it from him. Just remember that. Finally, another nice little individual sale for £12. We've had Ozzy Osbourne, now we've got Kiss. Well, we've got Baby Kiss. So let's rock and roll all night. A book about colours. Baby Rocker Kiss. I've got another Baby Rocker book. I think it's Bowie, however you want to say it. But that one sold for £12. And that's all the orders I have to process so far this morning. It's not even 9 o'clock yet, so you know, it's early days. Sales have been going okay. It's been very, very flat. Lots of consistently average days as we have strolled through. I have not been listing as much because I'm kind of trying to avoid creating more chaos until I get my storage stuff sorted out, which will hopefully be completed over the weekend and might even be able to show you come Monday. So I've not been listing as much. I have been picking stuff up, but it's kind of turning into a bit more of a death pile. I had a wee Whatnot sale on the other day. Was it Tuesday? I can't remember. It was meant to be one night, and then my mummy's dog died, which is very sad. So I moved it on to the following evening. And Whatnot still... The sale from the other day, let's put it into perspective. But, I mean, bearing in mind, but I'm just trying to get glaring light out the corner of my eye. It's very, very, very early days. I've been on Whatnot for a couple of weeks. I had a few sales at the start just to see how different things worked, and then I ran another sale earlier this week. Now, it took me 2 hours thereabouts to get it all completely prepped. Spent like a solid hour doing bits and pieces, and then a few wee chunks because I had other stuff that I wanted to pull into the sale. So it took me a good couple of hours to get it all prepped. The show itself lasted nearly 2 hours, so that's us up to 4 so far, 4 hours, and then it took me about an hour to pack the sales that went out. Maybe a wee bit less than that, but if I allow for the time to nip round to the DPD place as well, call it an hour. So about 5 hours in total to do all of that. And the total sales for that sale were, I think, just under £55. So sale value is like £11 an hour. Profit off the back of that, it's going to be substantially less, maybe kind of £5-6 an hour going into it, which is, it's expected. I'm not expecting huge things at the moment. Obviously there's only so many people are aware of me and whatnot, or coming along to the shows, some of you guys included. Thank you very, very much for those of you that came along and buy bits and bobs. But it's not profitable at the moment. Putting the stuff on there means that I'm not sticking it on eBay. One of the sales I did previously, I had a load of stuff that was listed on eBay, and I ran it through the whatnot sale, and then anything that sold I took down off of eBay. But it was messy. It means taking stock out of its place, so I've got it loaded where I can sell it from, and then all the stuff that doesn't sell, having to put it away again. If everything was selling, that wouldn't be a problem, but I know everything's not going to sell. Maybe a quarter will, maybe a third will, thereabouts. So it's a lot of afterwards having to put everything away again. The wee stacks you can see behind me on the bookcase there are still the bits and pieces from the sale that I've just had that now need to be listed on eBay. So what I did was I did a pickup. I stuck most of it on the shelves and listed it onto whatnot so that I could run it in that sale, and then everything that didn't sell is then going into my eBay listings, because it's all stuff that I sell on eBay regularly, so that works fine. It's like I've got a pile of stuff that needs to go around to be redonated, which I know is never going to sell, and I was kind of thinking, should I just put that up and see if it goes? But nah, if nobody wants it on eBay, nobody wants it anywhere else. I'm not going to waste anybody's time, for me listing it, doing the show on it on there. So it's all stuff I'm selling on there, which I normally sell on eBay quite regularly, and now I need to finish listing it and getting it put away. But again, I'm putting that off at the moment because it's just madness at the moment. I need to get everything sorted out, and then I can get that listed and put away. And said that, I will be doing another couple of pickups today, possibly tomorrow. So there'll be even more boxes and bags of books to get listed and put away. Now, I did mention a wee bit earlier in this spiel about the Commando comics, how I'll maybe start when I do see just a few of them in a load, I'll just grab them, stack them up until I see if I ever get anything that's worth selling. I've been doing that with something else, because I got a few of these a wee while back and put them in as like bundles of 4, bundles of 5, and they sold quite well for £10 to £15 for those relatively small bundles. And it's my weeklies and people's friends as well, but I've got the my weekly ones there handy. So, but these wee pocket novels, when people are buying them new, they're £3, £4, maybe £4.50, depending on which ones you pick up, and they are just little quick read pocket novels, but they seem to be quite popular, similar to the Mills and Boons. So I've picked up a few here, picked up a few there, another couple over there, until I've got 20 or 30 of them, and stuck them up as a variation listing just to see how they go. So there are, the highest number I've got in my hand is number 2058. So there are thousands of these titles out there. So if somebody likes them and you can find a big chunk of them, they definitely seem something worthwhile. So pop them onto a variation listing, couple of quid each, plus postage, and the usual buy 3 get 2 free. So if somebody wants to buy 5, it's going to be £6 for the 5 books, and then £3.99 postage, so £9.99 for 5 pocket novel books. So they still work out as a couple of quid each, which I'm hoping is a reasonable deal, and there will be a few takers on that one. I've been doing the same with the Mills and Boons books, but I've had quite a few of them for quite some time, so that's nothing particularly new. But those wee pocket novels, something again that I feel like I see regularly. Since I thought that, I've not seen as many of them, so maybe it's just when you see one you think, oh god, not another one of those. But now I'm just grabbing them and adding them to the pile, and tend to be able to get them pretty cheap because they're, you know, disposable books more than anything else. So we'll see how they go, and hopefully they will go well. Pickups of late, it's been a bit of a mixed bag. I've had some cracking big sets, you know, like complete sets of books, which I've been able to get up and get listed as such, and then lots and lots and lots excuse me, lots and lots and lots of single titles from all my bread and butter authors, which takes an age to list in itself. You know, if you've got 10 books from one author, it takes a minute to go in and update all 10 of those titles. If you've got one book by an author, it takes about a minute to go in and update that one book. So you can list hundreds in an hour, or you can list dozens in an hour, just depending on what's there. So again, I've been sitting on a lot of bits and pieces until I've got more than one of to go in and list, but that pile's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So, you know, 3 authors that sell reasonably well. We've got Leslie Pierce, Susan Lewis, Santa Montefiore, and I usually pick up, you know, 2 or 3 from these authors every time we go and do pickup, which means that, you know, after a couple of pickups you get half a dozen, makes it worthwhile going into listing. But instead of picking up more of these, I find one of these, and one of these, and one of these. So it's a bit annoying, that stuff at the moment. I do need to just get them all listed. But let's see, I've got another pick up today, so hopefully that'll make up some bundles to do, and then get the shelving, the storage sorted out. So it's not going to necessarily increase what I'm able to store, but it's going to get it all into one area. At the moment, I've got a few hundred books stacked around about me here at the moment. I've got a death pile with a few hundred books on it. I've got a wee room through the back of the utility room where I've got several hundred books, because there's no shelving, so they're all pretty low stacked, so just low piles of them, but it takes up a lot of kind of ground space for not an awful lot of stock. And then I've got my main storage, which I use in the spare room upstairs, which is where the majority of the books are. But with the racking in, I'm hoping I can get everything into the one space, and that gives me back a house, let's be honest, and will make things an awful lot easier for the picking and the packing. It's getting to the point where it's so solidly packed with the storage that I've got available at the moment that some, you know, potentially I could have to shift like 400 books to get to one, depending where it is in the alphabetized system. So really looking forward to getting that sorted out, but it's going to be a day. It is going to be a day and a half getting everything moved out, to get the storage put in, to then get everything moved back in. And I know how much fun it is just shifting, you know, 300-400 books from the car inside. Doing that with about 10,000 is going to be, I will be built by the end of this, or crippled, one of the two. It's going to get me one way or another. Anyway, it's also great to be back on here. It's been frustrating not having, you know, that full space and time to be able to get in and do this. Even this morning, I'm going to be running late and everything. I've got 2 hours to get everything done before I need to go out and do another couple of bits and pieces, and then I'll be back later on. And then it's my daughter's prom tonight, so I need to get her over to where she's going so that they can go in the bus to miles away to where they're having their prom. And then it's the football starts tomorrow. In Scotland are going to do Germany about 6-0 or the reverse of that score. It's going to be one way or the other, isn't it? You know. And yeah, and then a weekend of building storage, moving books, and the weather's been rubbish lately, but it looks like it might be a wee bit nicer on Sunday morning, which means I might get to a car boot sale. I have not been to a car boot sale yet this year, I don't think. No, I don't think I have. So it's nice to go and have a wee browse and see what's there. So maybe even get that done on Sunday morning if I've got everything else out of the way and I'm not just completely and utterly knackered from shifting books. Anyway, that is all for now. I say great to see you all again. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, yeah, click the button, leave a like, leave a comment, whatever takes your fancy, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow.